Now's the time. They're out. But I appreciate the concern and the heads up. Push is incoming. I'm looking forward to the emoji work tonight. We're coming up on 1 million followers. Let's go. Are you hearing that, San Antonio? Let's hit 1 million followers on Ken's 5 Facebook. Share the love. Share your posts. Share this live. Tell people. The Ken's 5 Facebook's where it's at. If you don't pay your exorcist, do you get repossessed? I think that is true, David. Yeah, I think that's what happens. That's good stuff. Yeah, share away. These are weather updates we do twice a day. Paul Mead Ellis does one about mid-morning. I do one in the evening hours about this time. And it's a wonderful way to do the weather. I really enjoy this because it's outside of what we're normally able to do within a newscast. Good evening, Bill Taylor here. It is Wednesday night. I'm in the Ken's 5 Digital Center. Blessings to you and yours on a fabulous evening. And as I was saying, what's so cool about this is the interaction, the feedback I can give you, the questions you can ask about certain areas or any kind of, future forecast, questions. But it's a great, give back, question answer session, we like to call it, that we don't get to do inside of a newscast because we get our 3 to 3.5 minutes, unless, of course, something big is going on, then we get more time. But, lately it's been very quiet. But even within that time, there's no live feedback. And so, we do this twice a day. And I'm just saying this to encourage you to tell your friends, share our Facebook Live. Let's get up to 1 million followers on the Ken's 5 Facebook. You love Ken's 5 as much as I do, so let's do it. Let's do it. All right, clouds, well, they were a little thicker earlier and they thin out in the evening hours. I guess it was about 5, maybe as early as 4 p.m. You started seeing some of those clouds give way, and we had a decent little bit of sunshine, decent small amount before the sun did set. But we'll be partly clouded and mostly clear overnight. Temperatures will probably stay in the 60s. So let's take a look at today's highs, and then we're going to get into these rain chances for the weekend. So we were about where we should be. We should be hitting 80 to 81. It was 85, so a little above average. 91 in Del Rio. They were in the lower 80s yesterday, but they were 101 on Monday. Eagle Pass hit 100 on Monday, so did Carrizo Springs. I don't know what's going on with the observation station at Cotulla and Pearsall, but it's been out. Hopefully that'll be repaired. 87 to 88, New Braunfels, Seguin's highs today. So only a few 70s, and it was close at Rock Springs and Fredericksburg, Bernie as well. Almanac time, show you what we've got. Again, we should be at 80. We started pretty mild this morning. And look at that record high, 95 from 1920. That was an old one. Stays in the books another year. All right, so here's the deal. Easter weekend rain chances are getting better. The timing is Saturday night into Sunday morning. It's going to be that 12-hour window from, say, 7 p to 7 a Easter that we're going to have the best chance, 60% now. It's going to be one wave. So that's the good news. The bad news is if you're camping, if you're going to sunrise service, we're going to have to deal with some rain on Sunday morning. 30% Saturday, obviously a much better chance we stay dry. No rain on, I need to fix that. There shouldn't be a shower on, maybe a sprinkle on Good Friday morning. Always rains at 3 o'clock. I remember that being an old folklore, that it gets cloudy and a little rain at 3 o'clock on Good Friday, symbolizing the time that Jesus died. So yeah, Good Friday, that's like a 10% chance. I don't think we're going to see much. Even Saturday is a long shot. It's Saturday night into Sunday morning, okay? Good size system. And we're feeding this atmosphere with additional Gulf moisture. As you see these southeast winds pushing in the western Gulf moisture, humidity will stay high, even climbing a bit. We expect dew points to probably go upwards of upper 60s. I don't think we get into the 70s in the tropical air, but we're definitely going to be humid enough to have some decent gas in the tank, some fuel for this system to work with. Let's talk about said system. So most of its energy will go north. You can watch this thing develop and start digging in right here. Over the Rockies, Four Corners, and you see what's happening. I wonder, make sure I'm not getting, I'm not seeing comments. Yeah, that's where I had a feeling. Go Pokes! Yes! McNeese Cowboys, Pam, you know this. Beat the Clemson Tigers in the first round of the NCAA tournament, but then they lost to Purdue. It's all right. Proud of our boys. Hope they can make it back next year. Good evening, Tara. Vanessa, good evening. How are you? Thank you, David. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. Any severe weather? I don't think so, Vanessa. We will have the chance north and northwest of here. So, sure, an isolated storm breaks off, could produce some small hail. Can't rule that out, but it's not likely. I mean, it is the probability on that's very low. Every morning, right, Denise? Absolutely, yeah. Almost looking like rain, especially Monday when the front, you saw the front, it was like it looked like a good wall cloud even. How much rain can we see? I think it varies between about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch at best. That's a long shot. I think it's probably going to be quarter to a half an inch. We're not looking at a whole lot with this, but the good news is we're getting into a pattern of chances, Jared. We're getting into a pattern of chances. No, Louise, these are helpers, not savers. You know, if that's what you mean with the drought, everything helps, but we need about 2 feet of rain to get out of the exceptional drought that we're in right now. We need a lot. All right, so you can see Saturday, this model's got a lot of rain developing, most of which is north. Notice that we're just on that southern reach of this line of rain that develops. So this is why it'll only be isolated on Saturday. Look at the snow in Colorado, northern New Mexico. I mean, we're almost into late April and they're getting snow. Incredible. All right, so here's the storm. The timing on the storms, Sunday morning, and I'll get into the hour by hour next. I just want to show you the upper level feature and notice how it does dip south for a moment, south of the Four Corners, but then look how it ejects north over the panhandles. And remember, this is a forecast of the upper level wind pattern and typically spot on. This does a very good job, this model. And which one is it, by the way? Let's see. It is the GFS. And so, nicknamed the Goofus, by the way. And so it does open up and move out quickly. So that's why it's only expected to be one line. This is not a cutoff low. This will move out fast. And so we expect just one line, all right? Let's get into that timing. And keep in mind, we're still using global data, GFS, European. When we get into mainly Friday, but Thursday even, we'll start tapping into some of the high resolution models. They do a much better job, much tighter grid on the forecasting. And then what happens with that is that we have a little more confidence in the forecast. The timing, the placement of the rain, and especially we can look at a couple of them, see if there's a consensus, and we start to really get a better handle, especially Friday. So here's where it develops, okay? Showers, even some thunderstorms in central Oklahoma, because I know a lot of you are going to be traveling too for Easter weekend. If you're going north, you can see Friday night into Saturday, you're going to run into some rough weather in North Texas and Oklahoma. Look at all that snow. That is just amazing. And then there's a line that develops as early as 11 p.m. Saturday night, and then extending south overnight, all the way to Del Rio. From Dallas to Del Rio, that line is pretty significant. And then look at that. It starts to really thin out as early as 8 in the morning Sunday. And then by 9 or 10 a.m., it's done. So it's going to be short-lived, move out, but then watch what happens. Look at this. We go ahead into next week. So Sunday afternoon, I think we get a little bit of sun. We salvage Easter afternoon. Monday, not a bad day, but by Tuesday, look at this. And Tuesday night, good coverage on rain, a few good downpours, even some thunderstorms. Look at that. Midday Wednesday. Something to keep an eye on for sure, okay? And then look at that. Thursday, chances, mainly north. Again, a lot of this can change. This is literally 7 days away. A lot can change there, so we'll keep an eye. All right, 14-day forecast. I don't know why this is not updating. because I'm sure there's been more. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm not avoiding you. There's Denise again. Good to see you, my fellow Holosian. We're crowning Miss Helotus on Friday night. Tomorrow night rehearsal. That's why I won't be here tomorrow or Friday. We've got the rehearsal, and then Friday night is the Miss Helotus Scholarship Pageant. It's awesome. It's about scholarships. They'll award up to $15,000 in scholarships for these young ladies. They've been empowering young ladies for 60 years. This is the 59th annual Miss Helotus Scholarship Pageant. And it's very exciting to see these young ladies working so hard and growing. From the time they started these workshops back in February, and every Sunday for like 2 hours, they work on interview skills, they work on stage presence, and it's about grades. They write essays. This is not like a beauty pageant. You know, there's an evening gown competition where they're very elegant, and then there's an onstage interview. That's the big one. That usually kind of separates where we're, got a few girls that are, vying for that title. That onstage interview is usually what gives somebody some points to catapult up to the lead and take the crown. So exciting night at Pedrati's Ranch on Friday night, Pedrati's Ranch. Come on out, support these young ladies. It would be wonderful. Support education and women empowerment. It's wonderful. My wife's the director of the pageant. We're gonna have a wonderful time. I'll get to MC it. Okay, how much can we, hey Ralph, enjoying the weather? I know, no kidding. Once we start hitting hundreds, there's no turning back. No, Pamela, the farther south you go, the chances drop fast. I don't think we see much in Floresville, Poteet, maybe west, and then it looks like it lifts. And so we'll get like a few showers south, but not many. Amherst and Emmy, what's up, guys? Amherst and Emmy, this is for you. Taking a little sip of the Java Joe on a Wednesday night. Always good when I toast to Amherst and Emmy. Good to see y'all. So glad you're watching. God bless y'all. Not a little bit, Jared. A little bit. And that's usually what's going to, stop good development. But with this area of low pressure, remember, if you were watching earlier, you saw the snow that's expected in Colorado, northern New Mexico. Well, that shows us that we've got a cold core low, and that's cold air aloft. And so that'll break the cap. We don't expect too much of a cap to hold on when that kind of system is coming in. But it is, like I said, most of it's moving north. We're not getting the brunt of that low. So a weather impact alert Saturday night into Sunday morning, because we're gonna have people out at our city parks. It's an annual Easter tradition where people camp out for Easter weekend. Be safe, please be safe, and pay attention to the weather this weekend. We also have sunrise services at so many churches that are going to be outside on Sunday morning. So please just be aware of what's going on. Keep a close eye on the radar. Download the KENS 5 app. You'll have the radar in your hand, and it's live and updated. Like I said, Good Friday, breezy and warm. Next 2 days, lower 90s, so they'll be warm and humid and windy. That'll help at least, get a little fan going. But then look at the rain chances next week. Tuesday night, Wednesday, looking decent. And even Thursday, Friday, we'll keep the rain chances in. So, yeah, at least we're in a pattern. We could get some good rain for sure. All right, got to run. Love you guys, and hope you can join us for KENS 5 News at 10. God bless you on an awesome Wednesday night. Lord's peace be with you, and have an awesome Thursday.